Grand Rising, coming to you live. We're recording on Sunday, August 15, 2021 at 1100 hours and 56 minutes. It's 55, but I don't do odd numbers. And as the title said, who's your master? And what I've been having visions and dreams about more so than often is more about who are we? I've been speaking on a lot of my live recordings about to my brothers and to my sisters that want to chime in, that want to have, I want to challenge you to a way of thought other than the normal thought that we normally, how we look and think about things, like such as one of the things that we probably won't think about is our life, is what you're doing in your life. Grand Rising, Brother Slide. Is that part of your purpose? Is it part of your one of your focus with inside your mission, your purpose, and with this I was saying, in your position? Are you there? And if you think not, why haven't you gotten there? And you have to ask yourself, is that decision based on society? Or is that based on who you are? So as in keeping up with the Jones, but you know you're supposed to be budgeting your money, or you know you only make a certain amount this year. So why would you go out and buy things that put you into the negative realm? And which I mean the negative, when you look at the word positive real quick, as I always say, it's everything you can control, even inside of your house, the way you spend your money, what you listen to, and what you watch. Negative is everything you can't control. That's including your family, your children, but you can have a purpose. So in your position, what is your purpose there? And what I paid attention to for the majority of the part of when we talk about different things, it's always, it has to be a blame on someone or something. We never can take what we're talking about and focus in and chime in and keep it that. I found it hard to have discussions about the mentality of our race men, but then the topics change. It's like the social media wasn't that designed for us. I mean, within our race, to actually overcome. You would think so. Since we talk a lot, this is the place where everything get out. But the things that seem to only get out is our own demise, our own destruction, our own destroying, our mass genosis of the things we're doing. It's the same things over and over and over. We never had the real discussion, even with those good panels. Eventually, it seeps into what I would say is it become personal. It's not personal if we see a whole bunch of destruction in our area, and then we say, how can we get rid of the destruction? But then, as we know, when you problem solve or trying to do better, what is the real issue? So if a child come up to you and you see a child in danger and they being attacked by the family or a person outside the family or just someone online across the world, we have to go back to the beginning. What caused the attack? Well, most times somebody attacking someone, it's not on you. So you have to go on what is the attack. But we never sit down and say, no one. Not saying no one, but the topic never get really truly in depth inside of that actual topic. So we're saying, if we use fatherlessness, why is there less fathers? See, we'll bring up certain reasons, but we won't bring up all the reasons. I'm not saying I got to go back 1,000 years to say, well, because of this happened and this. I can go look at that man's life. And I don't think some things that happen to a lot of men is the reason why they are not being good fathers. Because it's men that have fathers and don't be good fathers. Grand Rising, brother. And there is men that was bad men that became great fathers. When I mean as bad, outside of himself, he wasn't being who he was supposed to be. That's why he became that certain way. But if we, as a whole, only saying that that man by himself is the reason for fatherlessness, we are doing ourselves a disservice. That is the point of what social media does. We won't get into the $1 million questions, as in, why is this person hurt? Why are they being abused? What's going on in their lives? What's going on in that person's life that's doing that to these people? Why is that man not being a father? You got to look at everything. You just can't say, well, he's not a father because he's a black man. That's not a good example, because all you did right there is gave a notion on black men. I'm not here to advocate or promote me as evil. People say, I love the notion when we, this is what baffled me. And I noticed these things. If you watch our movies, Queen and Slim, and you listen to certain women of your race, they usually of another culture. So they can be African or British, UK. I say, how does this British man understand me unless he's talking the same? I don't mean the same. I don't need to hear the same. I need like, it's a core to bring up the real issue. Don't say fatherlessness because all the black men ain't black men is no good. That's not why that black man is not being a good father. Not because he's no good. What that's based on him, but why now? But we would never take the time out. But we leave everything else out. We will not talk about his situation, so his position, his purpose and mission. We will not talk about what's coming against him. A lot of these guys, I had just learned this about child support. Good thing I don't have children yet, because I get to learn and I get to watch how a lot of women move that do have children. When a man goes to child support court, and I don't think the women even knew this, they say, well, the man don't want to be a father. He don't want to come to court. I have realized, which I thought the city or state paid for his expenses. Nope. Brother told me, and he started, and other brothers, and they start really explaining what is child support, besides taking the money out of their paycheck. So let's take a brother on the average of, he make $100,000 a year, and the court order him to pay $1,000 to children. That's $2,000. But the one thing he brought up, he said, by the end of the day, I'm only going to be paying $20,000. I said, oh, wow. Why is that? He said the expenses. So he lived in another city. So he said, I had to travel to make court dates. I had to sacrifice building my business and working at a company. So I had to work at the company and sacrifice my business, which cost him thousands of dollars. Now he had to pay for travel expenses. That's thousands of dollars. And yes, we do, Brother David. And that's why we need more of our YouTubes explaining. I said, I want to look at us in a different light. And if this man paying thousands of dollars to travel, now he has to pay for a lawyer. He had to pay for an attorney or someone to advocate, because he don't have that, because he's trying to go to work, or he's trying to make sure his business survives after all of this happened. In the meantime, but the hurtful thing about it, the man is not really hurt, or the woman, the children. So those same children, this young boy, and then he's going to become probably an absentee father one day, because he sees this, but he don't know how to recognize this, because this is where people as me come in and hope parents will share. So I ask a lot of parents, do your child know how to pay a bill? Some people just look at me, and some people say, no, I never thought about that. Some people never sat down. We do things. And I don't care what race you are, because I've seen that too on all race, other culture. You have to literally sit your child down and say, this is what a bill is. This is how you pay a bill. Different methods, there's different forms. And this is why you don't, because you have to explain that to them. I taught my child math. Okay. Do they know formulas and equations? And see, the way I'm talking is almost saying you a Hopstead or whatever word they want to use. I say no, because if we think about common sense is actually guided and nurtured as well. Because it's not common. So if we talk about common, it is not common for a parent to sit down and show their children how to pay a bill. So how is that going to be called common sense? See, we call it common sense because we up here thinking just because that child know as an adult they got to pay some type of bill. Now we say that's not common sense because you never showed that child. So that man, whether he had a father or not in the home, he's never shown how to be a father. So as a father, and see, people say, OJ, you're going to forget some. No, how I'm going to forget that I'm a father and have to show? It's because I learned this a long time ago. You only can show what you know. So imagine me speaking about all these things. You check out my almost 600 videos. You think I'm going to forget anything I said? No, because there's going to be a part of my life. I'm going to be sitting there with when you're actively involved, I am actively involved with what I'm saying. People say, oh, that's a lot. No, it's not. I'm around 30 years. You telling me I don't have 30 years worth of information to better me? How you think I made it to 30 years? How you think I made it past the average life expectancy of a African indigenous black man, quote unquote black man? You had to be doing something right. Not because you was hiding in the house. No, because you wasn't doing things to endanger your life, to end your life. People say, what about? I say, that's not the case because it leads, as I said, you have to put things together. I was shot at 2 o'clock in the morning. Why was I out 2 o'clock in the morning? That's how I do to me. I don't worry about what my brothers did. I'm going to ask my brother, Mr. Sly and Mr. Bowman, man, you got to get in the house. Because you know why I'm going to do that? Because my master is me. I'm going to hold myself accountable and responsible. So I don't have to say black men as a whole. I know as a quote unquote black man, indigenous man, empower and my mastery of me. I don't need nobody to control. I don't need to control. Shalom. I felt the spirit. I feel it right now. I always feel the spirit when I talk, but sometimes it's lighter and stronger than other. That can sound crazy to people. If your spirituality, my spirituality is not based on because it's Sunday and I'm sitting inside of a building. My whole home, you come into my home, you're going to feel a different presence. You're not going to feel the presence of anger. So you got to think about that. If somebody always calling you angry or sad, you know why they're calling you that? Because they feel that your aura is going to give that off. When you get around me, it's like, man, you cool. Yes, I give off a cool sense. I don't have a murderous Grand Rising, sister. I don't have a murderous attempt to shame, pain, or bash you or abuse you in my words, because that's all I'm giving to you right now. But a lot of people, you go in their homes, you're like, what's this feeling? Why is it so cold in here when it's 80 degrees outside? Besides, and then their air conditioner, it's nothing to do with the air conditioner or the actual the weather. It's the atmosphere. So if you putting yourself 2 o'clock in the morning outside in danger, because that's where it is dark at. I can do all my work at 2 o'clock in the morning. That has nothing to do with good. So I understand my position. I got to go to and fro my destination and stick to that destination and come back, because there's a reason I went out. My reason was not the party, was not the drink. It was not to do anything that put me in an atmosphere with other people when the atmosphere don't suit the person I am. So hear that again. I have to put myself in a position in the atmosphere that suit who I am, my purpose. my mission and my journey to my destination, that path is outlined, and you ever see that commercial with the green dot and arrow on the ground, and they move into their destination? That's what you got to do. And I always feel as when they say good thing happen to bad people, bad things happen to good people. I say, no, those good people were not aware. So if I never show or guided or challenge my child how to pay a bill or the direction, how would my child know how to do that? And that's the talks that we need to have within these spaces and platforms. Somebody told me we don't have platforms, we have subs and channels. No, whoever said that I was there, I told them they're absolutely wrong. I said we do have platforms. We have multiple. This is a platform because the platformed, it's not what, if you're not there for whatever I'm forming, of course you're not going to see it. Because if your house is full of dissension, dividing, and separating of a race, so if we can take a hashtag pink pill, that is not meant for our race, men and women, to be together. That's meant for divide and separation and dissension. So if we're going to do that, their platform is created to show. Now I'm going to ask that platform creator and those people apart, because they are one part, or they're not coming together. Who's their master? Now I'm going to use the word, you are being controlled on as your purpose, mission, and position. Because my position and mission on earth is not to tell a race of people to hate their race and go to other race and highlight them as great, but forget that they do the actual shame, hurt, pains, and abuse to our men, women, and children. And I will damn sure, I will not heavenly sure advocate or promote, because heavenly will be a sense of good. Damn is to keep us down into a hellish state. But nobody would want to answer that question. And then when they get challenged with a person that they might deem as a challenge worthy, they run and hide and scatter. That's when, but if my daughter was going to be a part and quote unquote follow or prescribe, because she's subscribed, because that's a prescription of a woman, I'll ask her, so you're going to follow a woman or a group or a cult or a religion or a bunch of people that it's about dividing, separating, destroying, and destruction of your race, and you go that way, that shows me you will be, as we say, a fatherlessness. She is womanlessness. As a woman, that let me know. I can't say, because a father has said one time he think he had not done his job. I was going to comment and I said, no, brother. I would say, damn. I said, but I don't know the thing. I don't know if he was in her life her whole life, because I learned this, and this is why I would not want to have my child in a hospital. Why do the doctors take your child away from 20 minutes from the mother? Those are the most critical time of the birth. If the father has to be there. Anything that's done without. So if it's done without a parent or the person at birth, that child lose precious time. That's why I say, when your child come in the house from outside and you was not there for whatever amount of minutes, you have. I think I used to say an hour, but as watching children, I was like, maybe just a little less time. You have 20 minutes pushing it, or 35 to 40 minutes. I'm going to say 40, to say something to your child. You know why you should say something to your child? That impressionable sponge, your child, will start soaking in everything they heard outside. You have to be in your aura, your spirit. So my atmosphere is cool. When that child walk into our house, which they are welcome, they are welcomed in. So now you got to remember all that air, their eye gate and ear gate, they was receiving all this destruction. So all of these pills, and they don't have no other direction. And then they used to sit right in front of a television with subliminal, and propagandist messages. And I understand, brother. And I do the same thing. I don't deal with women that act as I'm the only man on this earth. We the only race men that does these things. But then I don't need a statistic. I don't need a survey to look around and say, man, I just seen the guy just kill someone and it wasn't us. It wasn't our race. So when that child get in that house, you have a certain amount of time till they start soaking that up. And if you allow it to happen, your child have now, and that's what happened to that brother. His daughter has received the Bad Girls Club, Love and Hip Hop. Those women that's broken. A man, if you know you're working on yourself, do not receive broken women as they are. You have to stand up. Because I'm advertising and promoting me to that woman, to those people around me. My house. Your TV is an that's the greatest thing about the appliances, the products, the items in our house. They can't feel nothing. So if you come in the house angry, unless you punch your TV or throw it or knock it down, your TV will not receive the essence of your anger. So the essence of your anger is what, if you turn your television on, television, what are you placing on that screen? You're angry. Are you placing happy music, mellow music, or are you putting on that FU rough hardcore rock and roll or rap or country music? Whatever genre have, every genre of music have a category for your type of emotion. That's what music is. It's a play on your hymns, your songs of your emotions, because it's a song. See, it's not a coincidence that everything sounds the same. So overall, we have to start looking at each other and making each other accountable. If you go through all my channels, after a little while, somebody say, that man, he's talking bad on women. No, he's not. And I lost friends. I lost women that I was associated. I'll say, I don't care. They did not listen to nothing that person said. Because you know why? I know why they didn't listen to him. They didn't listen to me. Like, I remember one time I told a woman, well, before I start, you're going to go back to your boyfriend because you love to keep asking me questions. But why I said that to her, because her boyfriend was the guy she's asking me questions about, why he's this and that. And for some reason, I'm happy she came to me, because everything she's saying, I was experiencing what her boyfriend was doing, but I never acted out. And I was saying, check for these, see if you do that, ask them certain little questions. Then eventually, after a while, she came back and said, I was asking my boyfriend. Then I was saying, because I've seen him a few times, never said nothing bad to me. Who didn't go fight me? He's a little puny dude. And after a while, I said, why did you tell him? The whole point of this is for you to get to learn him, as you supposed to got to learn who you are. So learning who he is learning who you are too. So, but if you gave him opportunity, guess what you just gave him? You just gave him the transcript, the blueprint on how to what? Manipulate you. So now she allowed him to be hashtag her master. We're going to use that, the master, I was a disciple. And the reason, who's your master? Sure enough. His name was Shogun, Shotgun. So she was receiving information that he was being or doing certain things. She relayed it to someone else that had the similar outlook and then went back to him. You know what I call the love that I'll pay attention. If we go by the red pill or pink pill love, I'll look at it as a manipulation. And a lot of our love is not generic. I want a generic love. I want that factory love. Do you know what the factory love is? It's the love that when you was as a child, you amidst. I felt this before. Every child born is born in love. I rebuke, I dispel and expel the religions and the curse. That's one of the things you should be doing that was put on us. We as a people are not conceived into a sin. Sin means curse. You are not a curse. I will fight anybody that say that. I will call them a liar. There is no power that want to sit on the throne on his own. There is no power that can hate me. There is no power that can tell me is stronger and better than me, and that I'm going to do the works within this power and tell me that power call me unrighteous and unworthy. And I will, if they're and happy as being Sunday, if you tell me, I'm gonna start telling people that God you call God, and I'm want to wrinkle and ruffle some feathers. No God on this earth, no God on this earth would tell somebody something negative to build them up. You are speaking on the forms of a hellish state, a devil. These people, they are our devils. The pink pill woman is a devil, because look at her life. Only devil can lie. How you speaking on taking away and hurting your men, and guess what you're doing? You're talking about another race men that will kill you. I can't, and this can sound evil. Close your ears real quick. This is not for the kids. I want to see a war before I die. I know I'm going to live, and my mother and all the women in my family, the women around me is going to live if they listen to me. Not a form of a master, in a form of a purpose, place, mission, or position. Thank you. And if those people cannot understand what they're doing is causing themselves to be slaves, I cannot walk with them. If something, and brothers, you got to start learning you're not a utility. You're not a tool. So a woman say, what you bring to the table? Well, first thing, when she says that, you already know she has zero accountability or responsibility of who she is. I don't care. They said when black women start getting degrees become worthless. No, they didn't. The degrees never became worthless. It's when you stand on a piece of paper that don't explain why you chose to get that degree. So going back, when you tell me a God you believe in saying that you are a curse, you sure that's a God you want to follow? I don't care what nobody say. Because I even challenge my own belief. I say why I have my belief. It's an unknown. We don't know where nothing came from. We can have, even science don't know. So why would we sitting here allowing ourselves to say and do things? That's true. So I'm gonna touch on that real quick. Why would I be with a group of people or follow something that tell me I'm a curse? I have to think about that. Who wrote that? So if you're telling me if you're gonna say there's a God, that's not my God. So when you practicing your born into a curse, you are a sin. I'm not practicing that. I'm practicing I'm a being on this earth. I was put here for a reason, my purpose. I don't need a master. I don't need something to tell me that I'm less than. And then that's called abuse. That is abuse. That's abuse. You're telling me, so your God is an abuse? So you got to think, but you can say that that don't contradict nothing I said. If you listen to everything that goes on. And then going back, right? So if we're respecting, and I love that when we have discussions when a person say, well, that's not true for me. And I say, cool, what do you think? Or if they sit there and break it, I don't say break down, break it up. Because when you pass on, you pass it up. So all this information, I would love one day in the spirit to hear young men and women actually having a dialogue on the religion or our relationships with our race. A lot of black men, quote unquote, our indigenous men, we do get treated bad from birth. Let's go back to that birth. What do we tell our daughters? What do we? I knew as every young man, if you get together, we are told our women are special, and our young women are told to watch out for us. That's almost like what your belief in that God is. You are great, but you are worthy unless you are with me. So it's almost saying our women are great, but we're not worthy when we with them. But when we with them, they're already looking down and bad on us. And vice versa. But I think more of the men, it's like, well, this happened, and you hear a lot of stories, even some men. But it's how can I be great with my women when she serves a different master? Or, and yes, we shouldn't group each other in. And a lot of us do that. But let's hit this question real quick. Why don't Black females, and I say female because I don't call them the B word and other negative words that we know that, who get hurt, pain, shamed, and abused by other race men, why don't they advertise as mainly and promote the white males as bad? Go to any channel with these women. I find it ironic that even the young girls, and you know when you get in discussions with a certain type of Black female, not saying not right now, not in the comments, she's not coming to hear what you're saying. She's going to change the topic and the things we're trying to associate. So if I'm going to associate in pain, hurt, and being shamed and abused, she's already associating our race men. But the guy that beat her face in, she won't make a video. She won't talk about him. But she'll keep talking about that man a man of color for some reason. Why is that? And only her, I know why. We still slaves. I'm sorry. I'm gonna always keep saying this. Slavery never ended. We're just in a new era of slavery. Now in this slavery era, it's going to affect all race because now there's so many mixed children. And our race men is not the only one that has mixed children. People got to realize that mixed children are from men and women. So if an African descendant, Black, quote unquote, Black woman, indigenous woman, but I wouldn't say group everybody in. Why? I say, no, let's get into that. They group all Black men, so why not group all Black women? Well, brother, I wouldn't group all Black women because I'm only going to use my experience. The reason our Black females group all Black men, because we got to go back to the beginning. And for them, their beginning is birth. And as I said, if you talk to a father, if I can give you some channels, but I don't want to promote people's channels and promote them. And you can listen to the woman. Listen to the woman. Like one recently I used to follow this young lady, I learned she was 26. So that's a good age. Her father told her she was going to marry she might end up marrying an older Black man because a Black man her age won't see. But it was some key details she was saying in her live, in her recording, or it was recording her video, her platform. She said her father got her mother pregnant because they was married. They wasn't married yet. Was they married or not married? But that's not the reason I'm bringing that up. He got her pregnant. He lost his job. So her father got to mess up. But when she talked about me and you, brother and sisters, the man she's going to meet, he can't mess up. And she kept using, no, you're all right. You're all right. She kept using the metaphoric about men being stable, because I guess that's in her mind. Her example was, would you want your daughter to be with a man if she's regressing? And there it go again. She's regressing. But when you see him, he's working. They have a house, a car, a roof over their head, the outside stuff. But what's going on with him? See, I seen a video when a black woman was talking to, mind she was a white woman, her associate friend, and she said, my wife not going great with my man. And so it made her think. She said, so with this man, she said, not going so great, or she was happy. She was happy. No, she was happy. And then that white woman said, is your man happy? And the black woman said, you know what the funny part is? A lot of other race women, they care more about your happiness than not their own happiness. Because people say, well, you get with other race men or the black. No, because you know what that fat white girl did? When that man was hurt and bleeding, it sounds funny because I have to catch myself and tell my mom, because even the black woman I finally met that did this, I was like, oh, but I experienced it already. But that was good. I told her, and then I love to talk about what's going on with me and us. And if I can't do that, stop allowing their pain, hurt, and shame to go on to you, because that's what's happening. She will not pain, hurt, and shame the other race men. Because remember, her father already told her, that man has to be a certain way. He's not allowed to lose his job when she's pregnant and go through a hardship because, quote unquote, that struggle love. But her father, if you talk to anyone, all the people that's married, I never heard a story about, not one. Even my uncle, I don't call it coming from the gutter and getting out the mud. They had to build, form, and create this life that you see right now. So her life, her mother, but she ignored that. Her father got to be not less of a man or a man that didn't have nothing. It's not that they didn't have nothing. Her father was not being this quote unquote man. She's looking for these high expectations. So her regression as a woman, I would ask, is that based on him or you? So if my daughter come to me and say, Dad, this relationship is not going well, I'm not doing so great, or you just notice it, I'm going to ask my daughter, in this case, because it's my daughter, what's going on with you? Why are you looking sad? Why do you look tired? But I hope my daughter would not start fault and blaming that man. I want my daughter to say, because Dad, I did this, I allowed, because she's her own master. That man is not her master. And then if you're going to talk about leadership, you think Honorable Brother Martin Luther King and Brother Malcolm X started off as honorable brothers? You think they was ahead, and you think their minds was that way already, right? But you got to think, that's who our women are listening to now, or some man that they follow. If she's following that man and she won't see that, hold up. And this is what I'm going to show my daughter. I'm going to say, yo, Dad, I'm 38 now, so I'll probably be a father back by 42 or something of that nature. And hopefully I met the woman to have a child with. And I'm not going to lie to my son and say, yo, son, I know my son let's say when I have a son too, you'll come to me like, Dad, all these girls like me. I'm like, oh, okay. What type of girls are they? It's going to be almost as I'm going to be questioning him to get a whole bunch of information first. And that's what we don't do. Let's question each other. Let's ask of each other. Let's get to know each other before I make a decision. I can't respond to my son because I can say, well, I'm not a natural wooer of a woman. I'm not a Casanova. So my response, I would have to hear about these young ladies first. I was like, well, what you think about Susie, Tanisha, and let's say Susie, Tanisha, and Elizabeth, and they all One of them mixed, one full African descendant, quote unquote, indigenous woman, and one, yeah, he wasn't sure of because she looked highly mixed with indigenous and Native American and Puerto Rican. I don't know. So I said, what you think about them? What do they do towards you? Because I can't start my son off and say, well, son, well, she not giving you no attention right away when you say hi, you should diss her. I don't know, because maybe Tanisha, that she's saying that about having a problem in school. And in school, she's showing her interest, but Tanisha is trying to do her work and understand because her whole day in school, she's learning, but she's still showing interest in my son. So I was like, well, and this is from a young age. I had to start my son and daughter, and my son are like, oh, these guys. I was like, so how does these guys treat other women? And then if she see them with their, how does he talk to his mother? Because that's going to determine some factors. Because his mother could have been a drug addict, and he feel a certain way. So now he has to learn how to love her that way again. Because he can remember all of her. See, that's why when I be telling women, I was like, you cannot take one man understanding and use it for all men. I can't take all men understanding and use it for all men. Because I don't know their situation. I don't know what Tanisha been through. I don't know what let's say Joey, such as admire my daughter. I don't know what he's going through. So I won't tell my daughter, especially my daughter, and you could promote what you love, brother. But this is just an overall understanding. I would challenge that. You would promote white women. Show me where white women are promoting you and they not sexualizing you. You can, I don't know, I would make you a ma, however you do that, because I would love to see that. Show me where white women show us where white people have promoted our race. If anybody can, I'm going to probably put that in the captions or show me where white people have promoted us in a good light to get rid of the negative stigmas and stereotype as a whole. Please show me. That's going to be the get rich or die trying question. The $1 million question, the get rich or die trying. Show me where they have. I would never promote what I don't understand. I would never promote what don't promote me as a whole. I will individually promote my brothers and sisters. So, and I have Caucasian women that I'm around. I will promote a Holly or Amy because I know them. I will not promote her father or aunt because I don't know their father or aunt. No, they won't. No, I have to be, brother, we be real and we never diss each other. They do not. Those Caucasian people do not promote me as a whole person. They seg me off. So they promote me. What if I was a prisoner for a robbery and that was years ago and I'm back in the community or sold drugs and I'm back in my community? I'm doing everything I can to say sorry to these young African descendant, quote unquote, Black indigenous children. I did not mean to sell drugs to your mother, because that's a discussion we have to have too. We think selling drugs is okay, but that's because we were taught that. They were taught that. But I'm back in that community, even though it's owned by the housing authority, making sure these families get food. I'm like, I'm sorry, brother. The only way to help someone is to help them. So the only way for us to help each other is to help each other. So if you promote them, you should go on that topic, because this topic is about you showing me that white women is your master. Because you can't go to those white women and say, go promote good Black women. No, you good. No. This learning. No, brother, clap it up. This is a learning. No. See how you got, now go ask some Caucasian people to have a mind of what I just did with you. They won't do it, brother. That's why I love you, brother, and I want to stick with you. I don't care what you want, what you enjoy, I'm going to always say, brother, challenge yourself. Guide yourself on, because you're coming now. We're gonna be honest. You know, brother, my majority. You can do that. Yes, you can. This is perfect. No, you can do. Who's your master? Ask yourself. You ain't gotta write it in. You ain't gotta write nothing personal in this comment section. Just hear what I'm saying. Ask yourself, who's your master? I can't see the rest of the title. I'll have to go to my YouTube. Who's your master? What's the rest of my title? Thank you, Brother Sly, for sharing. I'm gonna go to my YouTube. Who's your master? The rest. What's the rest of my title? Okay, I can't. I gotta type my own name in. That's why. Isn't that? See, this electronic devices be knowing who you are, but when you want to do it the way you want, we're the only race that does this. Who's your master? We're the only race. Like, that's the prime example. We promote other race. Go. So I ask you this. Now, that's why I was gonna say I'll bring up names, and I know it's called name dropping when I speak, because okay, this is I'm not using her name. I'm sorry. If you telling me in this Sunday, if you telling me God can hate, I hate this woman called Kristen and Kerrison. She's a black woman devil, singular, on her own, and whoever joins her become part of her minions. They're demons, and we can become demons if we join a person that's on a promoting of evil and to kill me. That's to kill me. She said, black woman said, I want a black man. She said, why? Because I want my baby to be black. She called black children. This is a demon. This is a devil. Ashy black babies. Only a devil will act. She's a black woman. Hold on, let me open up. Oh, you got to, oh man. You got to peep that. Listen to what she said. She's a black woman. Peep this, brother. She's a black woman that called black children ashy black babies. Do she know when she birthed out a child, it will be a black child, quote unquote? Peep that game, brother. She will be a black child. She's going to procreate a black child. This is, I say, hold on. This is why you say you can't do it. Yes, you can. Now you're going to think about why when you promoting them, now be specific. As I seen a girl named Jessica Hicks, is it Hicks? Say the workplace, and then when you read her caption of why black men, and then she changed her title. Why did black men destroy the workspaces? How did the black men destroy the workplace for you? See, I'm putting the onus on her. So I'm putting the onus on Kristen and Kerrison. Why would you create Beyond Black and White Elite hashtag pink pill? And then run when you finally get challenged by the black women, they're ashy black babies. You create an ashy black baby, a girl that's 16, that's not even you. So you telling me you're going to create hatred in your daughter to hate herself and to hate you because she hate her daughter. She hate. No, and this is not that redundant speech about I hate my mother or father. She don't hate. She hate herself. So now when you say ashy, so she thinks she's an ashy ass black woman. So come on, brother. This is where I'm saying you got to be mindful of what you say. So when I speak to my daughter, I can't tell my daughter she's special and the men around her of her race is trash. He ain't shit. I can't say that. Because automatically in a child form, when you got them certain, if my daughter heard black women on social medias and their destruction forums, they're not platforms, they destroying forums, I have to say, why do you think those women? I'm going to ask my daughter. I'm not just going to say, well, you shouldn't. She come home and say, I learned my daughter was picking on another girl. And probably so my name Otha. So I will explain my story or try to give my daughter a type of information so she can receive, so she don't become a bully. I don't pick on people, but I can respond if somebody doing that to someone else. If you in that position, if you want, you don't have to walk. Sometimes I'll let things play out. I don't respond to everything because And I don't even say nothing. I gotta allow that person to have their own will. And their will, they gotta either toughen up or take it. It's some moments where I'm gonna have to be quiet when my son and daughter come to me. I'm gonna say, that's your choice. My take, I don't have to explain this to them very hard because I'm having trouble with explaining this to women. That is my take, and I hear your take. I do not want to tell you what to do, brother, or my sister. In your case, brother, I don't tell you how to think and what to think. I understand you promote that, but be mindful of what they think about you and how they treat you as a whole. I will report Holly and Amy or promote Holly and Amy Caucasian women individually because that's how I know Holly and Amy have my back. And I even told them this. If it ever came down to a race war and it was a group of the people of your race and my race or closer to your race, and they ask you a question, I say, I don't give them an out, but I give them an understanding. You have the choice to stay with me or not, but I will not find fault but even my group would know this. The group that I am leading or a part of, that we're leading to a better place or for I'm defending and protecting, they will already know this. You choose because you have a chance of two sides. You're able to have a side. So, brother, you are able to have a side. What you say, the young men, forget the women, forget black women, forget black men. Look at yourself real quick. You are your master. Remember when yours, all right, brother, have a good one. I want to just leave this and park this with our brothers and sisters. Remember when you understand you have the power to shape and form anything in your life. You don't know if you got vaccinated or not. Are you saying that in your videos? Check out David Bowen. He be speaking in the fire. That's the thing. My brother, Mr. Bowen, my brother David Bowen, he be giving us update on the news. I think that's good. And once he decide to do a news platform, maybe that's the area he works in. He probably work in the news. He probably loved the news. He give us update about the COVID-19. I don't remember he said the vaccination or not. If you do, brother, if you got the vaccination, you got to remember, we are in America. Sorry, our system is only taught and brought up a certain way. And I be around African women and beautiful African women. So our American Blackanese women are not our only choices. You got London. You go to even other countries. And sometimes those women, and if you are okay with our race women going and dating other races and being with them, and out of the relationship, they are still looking for love. Be okay with that. You are okay with that? Go date them in other countries. Even we got Canada. I live in New York State. We got Canada next door with a whole plethora of African descendant, quote unquote, indigenous black men. Yes, brother. You have a good evening. It's afternoon. Have a great afternoon. Thank you for coming by and everybody else. And the reason I extended that because I wanted to speak to the brother. But until we ourselves stop making everything so hateful, we the only race that we look at our skin color and our blood, and we are so divided and separated from each other. I say we the only race because that's what I see. We move out of where we grew up. If I grew up in a part of a city as a house, I would have never left. I grew up in a city that's owned by the housing authority. So in a sense, my authority of me is only based on the housing authority is the master of the projects where I grew up at. The project is not as when I see boys in the hood, those are houses that black people own. Imagine if in a certain part of your city, you and a couple of black people forget buying the land because we got to start somewhere. Remember, we got to start somewhere, buy the houses and then learn about the land. See how you can buy the land. Buy up those inner city houses that's boarded up. and make sure your credit, get with good credit people, and we create these different things and avenues for our people so they don't have to pay $800 rent. You can pay $500, $400, maybe $300. And then if you can't do it that way, well, make one house a two house, the up and downstairs, where one person paid 300, other one paid 300, that's 600, or 325 a piece. They're covering the price of the house and some, so you can pay off the mortgage, and you know, you get a little revenue. You get $100 a month extra revenue, which is cool. So imagine if we did that. But within that $100, it's certainly linking back to you. But it's certainly now, what is that one lady that's starting off her sewing business? She sold things, and now her revenue, and it circulated back, and you go buy, you use that same money, it goes back. Now imagine if we keep doing that. Now somebody else in your other house, you get $100. Now, guess what? I don't have to go work for a white or wealthy or rich entity. I have 3 houses that's creating me an income of $300 a month because I'm using those money. Now when I'm paying off, done with my mortgage, my income now, just as their business, is the same thing. Their business, is you giving back because you got to buy hygiene. But remember, you're living your life. It's not a rat race. How many rats you can have at one time, and then they all die because they're all scattered around. But they're gonna keep this is like what we're doing. That's genocide. Keep producing babies, like I'm gonna say rats. I'm gonna use rats as I'm calling babies rats, or we call our business rats. Keep producing businesses, but our money don't circulate. So you know how a rat have a baby, they go out and have sex with another rat, have another baby. So it's thousands of rats inside of one building within a few months. How come we can't do that with? Eventually, he got 4 houses. He's circulating that money. Now, when that mortgage is done paying off, because we still got to go through our parts where it's going to be a hardship. And that's what I want to tell that sister. It's going to be a hardship. There's not struggle of. But we promote and advocate that with other races. Why? As a whole. Other races work on building together. We learned, like a lot of the stuff, the Jewish man, how he have a jar. There's let's say there's a checking account jar, a savings account jar, and a tithing and offering jar. No, a business jar with not a tithing and offering. The tithing in the business. You pay off your business first. You put some tithes down. You put some of your savings, and then when that whatever's done, go on your checking. That's your play money because you paid all your expenses off. Then now keep doing that. Next month when you get that $100, now he might get $300 because that one building or them buildings might be all paid off, mortgage at the same time. And then with no mortgage, you just paying for gas and light and heat, and then you paying for garbage. Now this man got an extra $3,000 to his name this month after 2 years of paying off that mortgage for them houses. Now when he come back out, now he's like, what can I buy now? Now that guy that got that clothing store, now he can invest in better looking clothes. That's not a long time. But we look at stuff as a long time for some reason. And so that's how you get better. Now when I have children, my children already understand the circulation of business. You think NBA owners want their children to play? They know how to play basketball because they're around the NBA. Who do you think train them? The NBA players? Because they're paying them. But their son and daughter actually know the business of the side of being a manager, like an NBA team owner. But most of the basketball players and athletes, what do? We show them how to be basketball players and athletes. It's only a few. Maybe LeBron showed his son how to be a business owner while he's playing basketball. Or have an intelligence side of investing. No, we're going to do that. But forever, we can't have our eyes closed. We can't take. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. How you doing, brother? Check out Brother Hank channel and everything. He about news as well. We can't be slaves forever. We can't allow a group of people, no problem, brother, to tell our one race man to tell me who I am, and then we join on, we piggyback, or what we call that, we leech on and start expressing my hatred instead of saying, no, I'm not hateful. This is what this individually person did to me. This is what this black woman did to me. But when that person expresses it, why is they feeling that way? You got to allow that to happen, even within yourself. Allow your pain to be expressed. Maybe you never had the chance to express it to no one, and then it's your first time. Black women and black men are not trash. We ain't shit. We are good people. We have good spirits. We have good atmosphere. We create that. We can do the best we can within ourselves. To start promoting and advertising that. We know the system is full of hatred, but you don't have to be. I don't have to be full of hate. I don't have to hate you. I don't have to be my own destruction or demise or demotion or contempt. You got contempt, divide, separation, dissension. Even though they want to eradicate, delete, remove, and ostracize me, I don't have to be the same man that does that to my race, men and women. I can be better, but that's easy. That's the easy. I'll say that. They used to say being bad is easy. No, it's not. Being bad is hard. That's for me. I don't know. That requires more energy to be good. Right now, right, let's sit here. That's me being good. That's objective. See, when people start saying that, I start listening to that. And yes, my brothers, my emperors, and yes, let's start as we advocate and promote everybody as the master. I'm gonna say this is my I am the master of me. Let's get into the terms of calling our young men and get your children into this, saying sir to their brother and start practicing and doing. Foster, nurture. I don't want to use the word breed. Foster, nurture, challenge, and guide your children in the home to have a great amounts of respect for each other in the homes. Let's start doing that. Stop saying queen and king is stupid. No, that's the highest honor you can call your brother and sister and your wife. Your wife can be your empress. Your husband can be your emperor. Reason I use that, as you know, imPER, and she's the impress. She's going to imprint and imPER, and that's procreation. And we're going to have a prince and princess, the print of who we are, the remix, what we call the remix. So whatever you say and do, that will affect your son and daughter. And as a whole, who is your master? We are the only race that. So what I say unto one, I say unto all. It's your path, it's your journey, it's your choice. Make the best decision of your life right now, or if you've never done it, to always highlight and be. You are a being. You're supposed to be is an action word. It requires action. And being good, you're not in the idle minds of, if I'm at home, I'm not watching evil stuff. I'm not plotting evil stuff. This is why I go against a lot of the beliefs. The devil is not in my idle mind because the devil is not on my mind. Only when I hear it, I'm saying it because I'm thinking about it. But when I'm saying something about this woman, how I'm gonna hurt? Literally, I'm sorry. We're adults. If I'm sitting down thinking about a woman, I'm like, man, how am I gonna massage her booty a different way to make her have an orgasm? We adults. How I'm gonna have it? I want her to have out of last week, man, I gave her orgasm this way. Now, if I press this button, is this gonna give her an orgasm? That's what I'm thinking about. Man, if I do this, this is gonna make her. I don't know who thinks about, man, if I do this, I'm gonna punch her in her face. Who thinks like that? I don't know why. I'm sorry, eating abusive man. I don't know. Maybe that's how they think. I don't know. Not abuser. I don't even think the abusive man is thinking about, I'm about to punch her in her face. Maybe he is. That's why I don't think, maybe that's the only thing I can think of. But I'm not thinking about how she gonna nag me. I don't think about how. Only time I think like, dang, did I just really come home to her nagging me? Did she really just bring this up to me and not have? I'm not thinking. That's what I'm thinking now. Like, man, is she really just saying this? But in my mind, if we saying hi, how you doing? I love you. I'm thinking of you about how I love her. How I want to kiss her. how I enjoy her kids, how I enjoy her feel, how I embrace her, how she embraced me. That's the goodness I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about that woman. I'm not always thinking about, but if it's on a topic, yeah, I'm gonna talk. On that talk, I was like, damn, she really treated me that way. Man, I can't believe she did that. And I never give her no reason to do that. Because we all have some experiences of things to say. Woman might say to my brother, if I was a different type of woman, I would, and women have said that, I would use you. I'm treating her good. And I'm taking my last 2 cents to treat her. And that's the bad part. The understanding of the $1 million question is that man can have $1 million, but he chooses to spend it on her because he loves her and she's kind to him in his heart. No matter what somebody else thinks, that's what he thinks. So when you choose that path, that journey, that direction, brother, keep your focus because you have a purpose. Learn your purpose. I don't care how many millions or thousands of dollars investments you have. That maybe that's part of a purpose, but that's not your purpose. It's something you are meant to do while you're here. Either whether it's even to show peace, a place, an area loved. If that's one that can people don't think like I don't think my mission, your mission not imagine if everybody stood on their mission and their purpose and they stayed in position for it. They will be doing what they're supposed to do. And that's it. Our life is not no greater or grander than what we think or it may not be. And thank you, my brother David and Hank, my love Bella, Southern Belle. Thank you for helping out and everything. It's a thing. Let me go to it real quick. Can I see? Let me see the comments. I'm gonna see it in a minute. Oh, she is modded. Oh, David ain't modded. I don't know. Now, whenever I did that, I think I was playing around on here, and I think I went. Okay, one moment. No, that's not it. I think I went to something before I entered into the studio, and they allowed me to do it. I don't remember where I did it, how I did it. It was a while ago. Yep, it was a while ago. It was in, hold on. Was it in the comments? Let me see. Put universal timeout. Okay, I'll have to do it after this. I think, was it in a private chat? I think something I did. I'll remember. So yes, she's a mod. Ha, I didn't know that. Haha. Okay, cool. Or let me click on someone. Oh, let's see now. Close it out and open it again. One moment. Yep, I think I did it. So I want everybody to know, be good, be your best you. You'll have a good day. Be great. Stay hydrated. Enjoy this summer. And I hope, and we're going to give remembrance or memorial to the people that didn't make it through the summer, whether it was their time or some unfortunate event. But I want you to know, in your unfortunate event, remember, and whether it's a bad relationship or you outside at a certain time, think about you. Start putting the onus on you. So when we start coming together to guide and challenge our children and young men and women, they don't think we have to blame someone. That's why we in a situation as a community, as a race, as it is, because we got to blame someone so that women don't have to create a whole movement to hate black men. The black men don't have to create or to expend any energy to hate black women. Take accountability yourself and look at who you're around. And if you don't find what that look as you the same or just as good, keep it moving. And maybe you can, and stop being our own destruction or demise. So thank you for the day, for joining. I appreciate you. I love you all. Share love and be part of enjoying the family. Hit the notification button. You have a great day. Shalom, my brothers and sisters.